Hey, good evening, everybody. My name is Rich Sharp. I'd like to welcome everyone to our weekly show. We call it Tournament Horse Racing. It's brought to you by Broke Guys Handicapping. Here's how it works. We've broken the horse racing calendar into four separate tournaments. Each tournament consists of approximately 10 racing days, and we pick four races from each of those racing days, and we compete against each other for prizes. We have four horse players, and each player makes a mythical $2 win place bet in each of the four races on that day. The winner is whoever makes the most money. The horse player with the highest amount of money at the end of the tournament is our winner of that particular tournament. At the end of the year, we're going to have four individual tournament winners. We already have one, and one year-end champion, and it's all based on just how much money you make in those individual tournaments. That's how the tournament works, and now it's time to introduce you to our horse players. I am not going to go in time zone order tonight and like that. You'll see why I'm going in this order. I am actually going to go to our newest member of our horse racing family. He just joined us a couple of years ago here. He's my neighbor up to the north. He's actually a very good friend of mine as well. Steve Newsom, how have you been?
Uh, could be better, but glad to be here tonight.
I hope you are. You're kind of like the well, I don't want to put it on you or anything like that as the guy who's going to slap me or anything like that. But you're the guy who's going to win tonight and anything like that. Before I get
Oh,
into that
oh,
too closely and things
oh,
like that, I'm going to go all the way across to the East Coast, and that's another racing analyst for us. He's our East Coast racing analyst, if you like. He lives in Staten Island, New York. He's also a very good friend of mine. Ray Torado, how have you been?
Good. I've been good. It's been a nice spring break week. Kids been home, so it's been busy.
Nice to hear it. All right, and finally, last but not least, we're going to come all the way back to the West Coast. It's kind of like ping pong, so the ball goes across the all the East and now the way back to the West. Joe English lives in Temecula, California. And Joe, how are you doing?
Doing well, Rich. No complaints. Hope
All right.
everybody else is doing well and hope the audience is doing well.
Nice, nice. You know what, folks? This is just a reminder. And Joe and myself, we're all friends. We do this show for fun, and we try not to take ourselves too seriously. You're going to see that. We are not a touting service, and we are not recommending or selling our picks in these races. We're just horse players. We love our sport, and we enjoy competing against each other for fun. We hope you do as well. And with that being said, I am going to turn our attention to this is the first tournament racing day of our second tournament of the year. We call it the Triple Crown, and as you might imagine, it's going to involve the Triple Crown races. The Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont Stakes will all be covered. I'll show you what the racing schedule looks like. But obviously, that means that we've already had one racing tournament. We are coming back from just a little 2 week break that we took. Nice to see you guys again here on a Friday night. And we're here to crown our champion from tournament number one, actually, which was called the Preps. And I will share with you my screen. We're going to go into what happened on our very last week of tournament horse racing. Uh, it was just 2 weeks ago. It was the same day as the Breeders' Cup Handicap. It was the same day as the Bluegrass Stakes. There were all kinds of tournaments that were going on that day. And one of the things that me and Ray and Joe and Steve like to do is we get together and we actually throw together our own individual pick fours. That day, Ray played Aqueduct, which included the Wood Handicap. Joe played Keeneland Racetrack, which included the Bluegrass Stakes. And me and Steve both took a shot at what turned out to be a rather difficult pick four there at Santa Anita Racetrack, on Santa Anita Derby Day. Um, Unfortunately and embarrassingly enough, I've got to just, I got to call it what it was because we did have two shows that last tournament day. Nobody managed to hit on Pick Four Wars. We will have a second version of Pick Four Wars later in the year, so we will see if we can't find out if we have a champion. That day, we also did split between Gulfstream Park, Oaklawn Park, or excuse me, I got ahead of myself there. Between Aqueduct, Santa Anita, and Keeneland. So we had a little pick four that went on that same day. And as you can see on my screen right there, Steve Newsom once again took the prize home that day. $23.60, betting on those four races. So it was the Wood Memorial, it was the Santa Anita Handicap, and then there were two races at Keeneland. One included the Bluegrass Stakes that was there, was the finale and things like that. I did come in second on that particular one. And that'll bring us to, well, this was the finale of quarter number one, or the summary for quarter number one. And as you see there, Ray Torado, I'm going to give you credit, sir. You got out there to an early lead. You set all the fractions. You made all the lead, and you did it all by yourself. And as happened last year in our first tournament of the year, you got nailed right at the wire by the same damn guy. Steve Newsom manages to nose you out by about $6. It happened in the Santa Anita Handicap. Joe and I happened to be at Santa Anita Racetrack last week. We were watching when Taba passed Messier, and it took about 30 seconds for us to look at each other and go, you know, the significant thing there is that I believe Steve just won.
Congrats,
Congratulations,
Steve.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Steve,
Thank you. I had my daughter was knocking on my door there. I was
kind of a commanding win.
Wants your picks?
Yeah. You would.
what's that? Yeah, she wanted what my
She wants your picks?
yeah.
So, and for those of you who are watching and you're wondering how it works, so we competed in 10 individual racing days. There were 10 tournaments, and as you see there, Steve won 5 of them. So, obviously, and he finished up with a hat trick. He had the last 3 in a row. Congratulations to you, Mr. Newsom. And as a result, as always here on Broke Guys Handicapping, Tournament Horse Racing is the TV show. It's presented to you by Broke Guys Handicapping. We have a prize for you. So it's going to be one of the people. Let's see. It could be that one that's up on that shelf, or it could be that one that's up on that shelf. But I actually think it's the one that's on this shelf. And I realized in the past we used to have someone different that gave you these prizes. But tonight, unfortunately for you, it's just me. Okay. This is a signed and numbered Tyler Gaffleone, one of my favorite jockeys there at Gulfstream Park. And as with all purchases here, I'm sorry, a Tyler Gaffleone bobblehead doll. And for those of you who really want to know what it looks like, I would turn my camera over here a little bit over to you because Tyler's over there on the side of my shelf as well. But as with all purchases here on Broke Guys Handicapping, Tournament Horse Racing, the funds from this purchase went to benefit the Permanently Disabled Jockeys Fund. Steve, congratulations to you. I have a feeling you know where you can come pick this one up.
Yeah, I do. Well, thank you guys very much. I'm humbled to be in your guys' presence in the show. It's been fun, and I continue to learn every day.
Absolutely.
Good job.
Absolutely. All right. With that being said, we are moving on to tournament number 2. Look at that. Look at that, you guys. Everybody's back to zeros. We're all even. Sorry. For someone who was down there
I've been
with
zero
Bob,
for the last
yeah,
month.
for most of the tournament like that, I just wanted to be back level with everybody. I will take you through this very quickly. As you see here, tonight is or tomorrow is April 23rd. Tonight's our episode for that. So we'll be at Oaklawn Park tonight. Down there in Hot Springs, Arkansas. We'll turn around. We'll come right back on April the 30th to Santa Anita Racetrack for the California and the Charles Whittingham. On May the 7th, there's a little race called the Kentucky Derby at Churchill Downs. Fantastic card on tap for that one. Of course, Tournament Horse Racing is going to cover that one. On May the 14th, Belmont Park, not for the one you think at Belmont Park, but the Man of War and the Peter Pan are pretty good. On May the 21st, it's the second leg of the Triple Crown. That's Pimlico Racetrack with the Preakness and several other races. We're going to take a little break on May the 28th. That's your Memorial Day weekend, so I hope everybody enjoys the 3-day weekend. We'll come back on June the 4th. You'll see there's a couple of stars on there, and there's a couple of stars down later. I will talk to the guys about that. There's some other races that are going on those days, but we thought we'd shake it up just a little bit and get a little crazy, and we would go down to Evangeline Downs and in Louisiana in Cajun Country. On June the 11th, we're coming back again, Belmont Park for the Belmont Stakes, the third leg of the Triple Crown. Another fantastic day in racing. And then we will finish up with 3 races, one at Monmouth Park. We've got Belmont Park slated as well with the Mother Goose and the Wild Applause. And then we'll finish up at Churchill Downs with the Stephen Foster Handicap and one of our favorite horses here from 3 Broke Guys Handicapping years ago. It's the Wise Dan Stakes on that particular day. That's July the 2nd. So that's what we'll be looking at this year. Again, a couple of those ones that have stars might be some tentatives. We can change here on Broke Guys Handicapping and Tournament Horse Racing prior to that. So we are going to go ahead and, if I'm not mistaken, we are here in But I've got to get my name straight on this particular tab. I will get that corrected for us all. I'm using a copy of a previous tournament, so I will make sure that we've got these corrected. But this is Oaklawn Park. We are starting in race number 8. They are going 1 mile and 1/8 on the main surface. It is the Oaklawn Stakes. The purse is $150,000 for 3-year-olds only, and your morning line favorite is in post number 2. Stellar Tap, trained by Steven Ausmussen, ridden by Joel Rosario, is 5-2 on the Oaklawn Park morning line. And as you might imagine, Steve Newsom, as our champion from last year, you're going to get to go first.
All right. Well, I'm not on the favorite here, but I do like the horse next to the favorite, Kuchar. Lauren Giroux and the trainer there, Rudolph. They've hooked up 3 times and won 2 so far. So
Yeah,
66. But yeah, I was looking at this horse. It looked like by Uncle Mo. I think this horse is going to like the longer distance. And the trainer's 22% first time with blinkers. So I'm going to go with
All right. Ray, you finished second in last year's tournament. You're going to get to go second tonight. Go ahead.
Okay, sounds good. This race I went with number 4, Homebrew. He's raced 4 times in his life, and last time, of course, sloppy track. I have to give him a little forgiveness for that. And the Smiley Jones raced pretty good the last 3 times. The first 2 times on dirt, and she to get the money, got to win, and just maybe he'll just coming off the layoff, go back to fast track with Brad Cox, Jose Ortiz, and the owners pretty formidable too, Gary and Mary West. So I'll take a shot. 3-1's a pretty decent price. So I don't know if I get 3-1, but I'm just hoping that the horse it's got a little more little speed, so it might be close to a pace. So mile and it's a long race, long stretch in Oaklawn. I think this horse is could run well. So home brew for me, Brad Cox.
So, Joe, you actually didn't finish ahead of me last week or this first tournament of the year and things like that. I finished ahead of you, but I believe I did bring that up enough times on the ride back from Arcadia last week. So why don't you go ahead and go third?
Believe me, my performance was definitely cellar worthy. There was no question about it. And then I'm not talking wine cellar either. Yeah, I'm on the same horse as Ray. I'm on Homebrew. I think this is definitely much more reasonable spot. And Ray mentioned that this was the last race was the first time in the slop and the first stakes try. Also gets Lasix back on and got some time off. So I'm kind of wondering if there's a situation where maybe this horse did bleed. I don't know. I have no knowledge, obviously, but to give a horse who's doing well 90 days off generally isn't a good idea. Normally they would bring him back kind of quick, and they've had enough allowance purses that they could probably have brought him back sooner if he was doing well. So maybe he did have some bleeding issues, and the Lasix on will help. And Ray mentioned Cox's. I have a stat. He's 7 for 18. First off a 90 to 180 day layoff at Oaklawn with a route runner. So, and it's funny because he was, I think before last week or maybe before April started, he had no horses in the Derby. Now he has 3. So, his barn's obviously going well. So again, I went with Homebrew just like Ray did. And if I get 3-1, I get 3-1. That'll be whatever I get. It's the first race. Let's start over after that crappy performance in the first quarter. Rich?
Yeah, not a whole lot to argue with you right there. I did slip back into my at least a little bit. I'm on the 7, back into my old form, I guess I would sit there and say I wanted to go for one of the favorites, something like that, but I did like the looks of Happy Boy Rocket, Bill Mott, and Martin Garcia there at Oaklawn Park. Martin used to have some success out here in Southern California as well. Horses by Run Happy, and after coming out and looking pretty impressive there in that second race at Gulfstream Park. It was a mile and 16th maiden special weight affair. Wins that one in a 10-horse field, gets bumped up to the Tampa Bay Derby, doesn't do so well in that one. And then there you can see in the next one, The horse was actually favored in an optional claiming race, broke through the gate, and then dwelt 4 wide and things like that. I almost like to draw a line through that one. I almost want to draw a line through the Tampa Bay Derby as well. It doesn't look like it ran very well. So I'm hoping to see a bounce back here from Happy Boy Rocket with Bill Mott, and I went with the 7. Seven. All right, and we are moving along here. We are going to go on to race number 9. They are going 6 furlongs on the May surface. This is a starter's allowance race. The purse is $44,000 for 4-year-olds and upward, which have started for a claiming price of $25,000 or less in 2021, 2022, and which have not won 2 races since December 31st, 2021. Your morning line favorite in this particular race is out there in post number 7. Excuse me. That is Don't Forget, trained by Aaron Shorter and ridden by Ramon Vasquez, is 3-1 on the Oaklawn Park morning line. And Ray, why don't you go ahead and take us?
All right, this is a sprint here. 1 turn, allowance race. I went a little bit on the hedge here. I went for number 4, Sea to Success, Ricardo Santana. The reason why I picked this horse, he has a lot of like you call it, the West Coast speed. So I kind of like that on the East Coast. They tend to do very well. He could probably just outrun his horses possibly. And Ricardo Santana's good on the lead. He's actually 2 out of 3 in Oaklawn. He's 8-1, so I take a shot. First time not familiar with this trainer, McLean Robinson, but he got 12%. So, and Santana's also, one of the lead jockeys in Oaklawn. So, 6 furlongs. I'm just hoping to go out to the lead and just hold him off. And he's doing well. I mean, last race he did well. He's actually dropping in class, so a little bit back down 25,000 from 50, and so he'll take a shot here, 8-1. Even if he runs second, I get a decent place price. So trying to get some earnings here. So that's how I folded the last last tournament. I didn't get much earnings late in the year, but you know what, Steve's well deserved the winner. So seating success for me. Hopefully you can start out here.
Joe, it's up to you.
Get the inside runner for me, Drainage Star, 9-2 morning line. She ran in what was the 3rd fastest sprint on the day of April 2nd, excuse me. She's won locally. She's won from the rail. And just looking at this field, it looks as if these horses have really kind of taken turns beating each other. And this is a horse who is new to this group. Hasn't really, you don't see any bold type in her PPs, indicating that she hasn't been running against these horses. I think he's poised to do well from the rail, and he's got obviously 8 times in the money at 11 starts at Oaklawn. So I went with the 1, a little bit of a longer price than one of the favorites, but it is a contentious race. Drainage Star for me.
All right, that's going to hand it off to me, and we've got a nice little diversity going here tonight. Not a whole lot of blocking picks and things like that so far. I'm also a little bit off on the trainer who I don't know who he is, but I went with a horse called Admirably. I do know some of the previous trainers. It was George Papadromo from Santa Anita and then Robertino Diodoro. And the horse is just 2 for 2 at Oaklawn Park so far. A 5-year-old at a Candy Ride, and he's got Gio Franco. So there's Ray brought it up before. There's West Coast connections all over this horse, and then comes to Oaklawn Park and wins 2 in a row. Again, I'm not actually familiar with the trainer. His name is Wilson Melton, or Melton Wilson, excuse me. And he's 1 for 11 so far. It looks like he does have at least a little bit of history. He has hit 22% with his first with his trainer here. And I do have some respect there for Gio Franco. Again, came from the West Coast out there to Oaklawn Park. And so I ended up on the number 6, Admirably.
Yeah,
Steve, I'm sorry.
Don't Forget the 7. Looked like it just looks like to me, this horse is, you got a consistent, continuous improvement for the last several races. Won the last time out with Ramon Vasquez on board. So, yeah. I'm going to go with the 7.
Okay, let me plug those in for us real quick, guys. And I will put in. All right. And here we go on to, this is race number 10. They are going a mile and a 16th on the main surface. Of course, that's because Oaklawn Park only has a dirt track. So this is a mile and a 16th on the main track. This is an optional claiming race. The purse is $107,000. It's for 4-year-olds and upward. Yeah, I know, an optional claiming race. And a purse of
Slot money.
$107,000. Yeah. God bless slot money, Joe. For
Slot
4-year-olds
money, yeah.
and upward, which have never won a race other than maiden, claiming, starter, or state bred allowance, or claiming price of $25,000. Your morning line favorite is in post number 3. That is, for Joe and Ray, Eastside Cool. Trained by Steven Asmussen and ridden by Joel Rosario. The horse is 5-2 on the Oaklawn Park morning line. And Joe English, you are up first.
Yeah, Rich, it's funny when you said slot money, and it's like I'm flashing back to if we would have passed that law in California, we kind of wonder history would have changed, because maybe Hollywood Park would still be standing, maybe the Rams would still be in St. Louis. Who the hell knows what would have happened if actually we had approved that way back in the day? But I digress. I'm on the favorite here. Eastside Cool's 5-2. He looks a lot like the controlling speed in this race. He gets Joel after David Cabrera was injured. I want to say maybe 3 weeks ago, a month ago, something like that. So it's not as if Cabrera's lost amounts to anything other than injury. But I'll take Rosario as a replacement.
Yeah, you're
Again,
looking.
three for 7 with 2 seconds in the money. And it looks like the main competition to me, just broke the maiden. So this horse has a little bit more experience. Is obviously a 4-time winner. And still only 4 years old. So I'll take the favorite 5-2. I kind of think he's going to go a little bit lower than that. It's not the price I want, but again, we're just starting a new quarter, so
Yeah.
not necessarily worried about price at the moment.
All right. I'm up next. I was tempted. I decided to go. I decided to go other Asmussen. And this is the other Steve Asmussen that's in this race. He's a 5-year-old, but this has got Ricardo Santana that's on there. And I love the fact that they bring up the fact that it's a hot trainer jockey combo in the last 14 days. This is always a hot trainer jockey combination. Steven Asmussen and Ricardo Santana. As a matter of fact, 20% is just a little bit low for the two of them. The horse is coming out of optional claiming races. And as you see there in the comments there, the best dirt speed is the fastest among today's starters. It's a tie. The poor recent one was that he pulled up and he was vanned off. And then you can see there that Asmussen actually has a regular workout pattern for him since that, or I should say an irregular workout pattern for him since that time. I decided to just take a little bit of a poke here, and it's 7-2. I thought that this might be a better one than the horse that Joe's on. So I've got the 6. Steven, I'm going to hand this off to you.
Yeah. So I've got the 9, Go West. Won its last race at the distance at Oaklawn Park. Got Ramon Vasquez again on board. I'm on that train today, I guess, or tomorrow.
Yeah.
But, Brett Calhoun, they've won 1 out of the last 3. They've hooked up together. But again, nice improvement with the horse. So hopefully we can continue to see that.
I do believe this was the maiden that Joe was referring to in his handicap analysis.
That's correct.
Mr. Torado, take us home.
I'm with you, Rich. Alleged number 6. Just he's run well. Um, previously, 3 or 4 starts back, maybe something happened in the last races. So he's dropping down class. So um, yeah, he fits the condition, and hopefully they could figure what he did get the workout April 1st. Looks pretty decent, so he might be back in shape. And Asmussen, you always have to be leery of in Oaklawn Park. And yeah, I'm going with the higher one too, higher price Asmussen. Hopefully they can run 1-2 like he usually does in his
Yeah,
exactas.
exactly. Yeah.
So uh, maybe they'll just fight both to the wire, and a ledge can get there for me. So I'll go with the ledge with Santana and Asmussen. That's like a jockey combination for a lifetime.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, so
Like I said, when I saw
Except
20%.
except that at this time last year, that wouldn't have been 15%, 15 mounts. That would have been like 150 mounts.
yeah, sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true.
Uh-huh.
It's a good point. All right, here we go into the finale, and this is the feature for this particular day. It's race number 11 on the Oaklawn card. They're going a mile and an eighth on the main track. It is the Oaklawn Handicap. It's a Grade 2. Purse is $1 million for 4-year-olds and upward. And your morning line favorite is out in post number 8, and that is Fearless, trained by Todd Pletcher and ridden by Jose Ortiz, and he is 9 to 5 on the Oaklawn Park morning line. I actually think that's actually a tasty price for Fearless. He's been very, very good. Speaker's Corner is not in this particular race, and that's the only horse that's been able to get the better of him in about the last year or so. Anyway, I did not go for the favorite, even though it's a new race and a new season and things like that. I felt there was still some risk that was involved, or still some opportunity to go ahead and take some risks. I decided to go with a horse who we haven't seen for at least 6 months, and in reality, it seems like we haven't seen his best form in about a year. But his name is Idol. He's trained by Richard Baltus. Sorry, Steve. I am going to go ahead and take Ramon Vasquez's horse this time. And if you look there, the horse
And it's
won.
tough to win 3 in a row.
Yeah. In 2021, the horse did win or finished third in the San Pasquale, and that was behind Express Train and Tis a Magician. Came right back and turned the tables on Express Train at 5 to 1 in the big cap, the San Diego Handicap. And Maxfield, who was out here from the East Coast, was actually in that race as well, and then took a shot in the Awesome again. And again, you see some really big names in that one, including the now deceased Medina Spirit. I thought Richard Baltus deserved a shot here. He's not fantastic with long layoffs, but he is decent. And as you see here, this is the horse that has the regular work patterns. Back on March the 22nd at San Luis Rey, puts up a bullet at 59 seconds, comes back and puts up a couple of decent 6 furlongs. And I regard the workout on April the 13th as nothing more than just a little prep for this one. So I didn't put too much stock in that, and I thought that Idol was worth it at 6 to 1. Let's go ahead and hand this off to Steve.
All right, I went with the 2, Thomas Shelby. I don't know. I like the Peaky Blinders reference. Jockey trainer are winning at a 21% clip at 57 races. I'm not too familiar with either of them, but horses by Curlin. At 8 to 1, I thought the price was right, and I don't know. I'm guessing this horse might go to the lead. It should go to the lead here with the horse on the rails. Doesn't like to get off to a fast start, so should have that positioning going for him. And so yeah, I'm gonna move to 2.
All right. Mr. Torado, it's your last shot for the evening.
All right, Mister. Hopefully, I'm alive somewhere in these races. Um, I went with the second choice, 6 Plainsman, Brad Cox again, Joel Rosario. He's been racing in these types of races at Oaklawn, the Razorback, the Essex. And, he won one and came in second to the other one to Radar Superstar. So he's in good form. Obviously likes the track. He's 7-11 in money, 3 wins. Rosario's always, keeps been keeping them out. So He knows the horse. He's been riding him the last two starts. So I hope he'll be forwardly placed and make a good run and get the distance. And $1 million is pretty good. So this horse,
Yeah.
he deserves to get some time. He actually ran third in a cigar mile behind American Revolution and the other horse. So you know he has been very with some good good company. So I'll go with Plainsman. Hopefully, he can get back in the winner's circle, following his Razorback handicap. So win. Right, Rich.
Joe, you're in the catbird
Joe.
seat for the
Oh,
finale
Joe.
here, and
Sorry.
with that, you're gonna get your. This is the last shot of
Oh
the evening. Go ahead.
goody. Oh goody. I get
Last
the
chance.
last race of the night, and I'm going with, I don't know. I think he might be the longest shot on the board. I'm the horse Steve mentioned earlier, the one Beau Luminaire,
Beau Luminaire.
12-1 morning line.
Beau
Gets a new
Luminari.
jockey with Florent Giroux taking over for Rafael Santana. He actually booted this horse home as a winner in that first start you see on the PPs at Turfway. So he's got to be somewhat familiar, at least, with the horse. And Rodolphe Brissett, who actually is 28% for the meet, with his first time returnees, like the horse did on March 19th, he's only like 3 for 36. But with second timers, he's 5 for 29. So he's got a little bit. He gets them ready a little bit better. The horse made a decent closing kick the last time out in the Essex. And I'm just taking a guess that if the horse continues to improve and take strides forward, I thought this rate. I mean, I know Rich mentioned Fearless, and I get the Speaker's Corner thing because he wasn't going to beat Speaker's Corner, and Speaker's Corner is really good right now. And I could see Speaker's Corner winning maybe winning a Breeders' Cup this year. But other than that, the speed figures in the races, the Beyer speed figures, this is a pretty competitive race. And Beau Luminaire ran a 96 last time, which was the same as Fearless ran at Gulfstream. And I believe Rated R Superstar, who none of us picked, had the highest Beyer speed figure last time, which was 99. But again, most of them are between 95 and 99. So to me, if I'm playing a pick 4 or pick 5, this is a race I'm spreading. I would probably be more likely to single in the last race and single with the speed, East Side Cool. But again, I'm going with the one, hoping that there's a little bit of a price, and the horse improves off the first start after the layoff for the new Brissett Giroux combination.
Yeah.
This is a nice race to be alive with everybody.
Yeah, isn't
Well,
it?
unfortunately, Ray, it's not the payoff leg unless you're playing pick threes.
Yeah.
Oh,
You still
really?
got
Okay.
you still got one
did.
race after this, which is
Yeah.
also, if I've taken a look at it, which also is not an easy race to figure out.
I
So
see.
One of the benefits of this show is that we can go ahead and cherry pick and go ahead and grab an extra stakes race, which is what happened here, where I grabbed the Oaklawn Stakes up at the beginning instead of just going with a pick 4. That would have been 3 non-stakes and the Oaklawn Handicap. So I
Right.
thought we could get a good combination here for this opening leg of the Triple Crown series for us. Those are your picks, gentlemen. Just make sure to take a look and let me know. Did I get those correct for you?
yeah, mine are good.
2 pair.
I'm just gonna take it. I mean, I'm just gonna take myself a little picture of
Get
the
a 6 on
screen
the river, it'll be in good
There you
shape.
go.
so that I have
Or 4 on the river.
it for posterity. And if
All
anybody
right.
scratches tomorrow, obviously we'll be in touch.
All right. And I will go ahead then, and I'm going to come on back to you guys, and we'll go ahead and wrap this up. For those of you who are watching, thank you for watching our show. That's how we do it here on Tournament Horse Racing. It is, again, presented to you by Broke Eyes Handicapping. That's our little Pick 4 segment that we do. Anybody have anything that they want to add before we go ahead and sign off for the evening?
14 days.
14 days.
Yeah.
Something special.
13.
Something special is coming in 14 days. Yes, it
And
is.
I'm telling you, the Oaks is going to be a humdinger, boys. You're gonna get a graded stakes winner at 1.125 at 5, 6, 7, 8 to 1. It's the Oaks is that kind of race this year.
And I'm happy
Okay.
that Belmont Park is returning. So
There we go. There we
I'm
go.
very happy about that.
Let me go ahead and wrap this up before we get cut off for the evening. For Steve Newsom, congratulations on your victory in tournament number 1. For Joe
Thanks
English
again.
and for Ray Torado. Gentlemen, it's always a pleasure to handicap with the three of you.
Yes, it is always.
My name is Rich Sharp. The name of the show is Tournament Horse Racing. Thank you, everybody. Good luck, and we will see you next week. Bye.